Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. So today I'm doing my updated video for the Georgia Senate race. I previously did a video a few months ago for the special election race, which I'll be doing another video for that as well. But first I am doing the Senate race between incumbent Republican Senator David Perdue and Democratic challenger Jon Ossoff. So before I get into that, I just want to show you Georgia's most recent results. So Joe Biden is currently ahead of President Trump right now in the state of Georgia. President Trump is contesting the results, and I believe he does have lawsuits set up. But as of now, Joe Biden is projected to win the state of Georgia. I just thought it's interesting to let you know what happened there. And in the Senate race, this is important to note, is that Republican David Perdue got 49.7%. Jon Ossoff, his Democratic challenger, got 48%. David Perdue did actually outperform President Trump in this Senate race by about 1,000 votes or so, and which ended up netting him about 0.4% gain than President Trump got. So David Perdue did overperform President Trump. Jon Ossoff did underperform Joe Biden slightly. However, in Georgia, to win, you need 50% of the vote or more to win outright in Georgia. Otherwise, it goes to a runoff. So this election will be going to a runoff between David Perdue and Jon Ossoff. David Perdue, he's the incumbent U.S. Senator. He was elected back in 2014. This is him running for his second term, and he did win enough votes, as I just showed you, on election day to advance to this runoff election. Now, Jon Ossoff. Jon Ossoff, you might know his name. He previously ran for Georgia's 6th District in 2017. At the time, this was the most money ever raised for a congressional race in the country. That's why you might know Jon Ossoff's name. He was a part of that. So he raised the most money of any House candidate at the time, and he also won enough votes to advance in the runoff election on election day. So David Perdue's approval rating, I tried to get as most recent as I could, a Remington Research poll, which so far has been the only notable poll, for the Senate race, has David Perdue's approval rating at 47% and disapprove at 45%. So he is slightly more approved of than disapproved of, but not by much. They also did Jon Ossoff's approval. He is approved 46% and disapproved 47%. So both of them are relatively equally approved and disapproved of. David Perdue might have a very, very slight edge, but 1 to 2% really not too much of an advantage one way or the other. We do have some fundraising information, though, actually, I was able to get for you guys. So far, Jon Ossoff, this is as of October 14th, so it has not been updated in a while, but Jon Ossoff raised $32.3 million. He has spent $28.1 million, so has $4.2 million left to spend. This is before fundraising starts coming in for the Democrat Jon Ossoff and Republican David Perdue. David Perdue has raised $21.1 million, and he has spent $15.3 million, so he has $5.8 million. So David Perdue does have more cash on hand. However, I do know that the Republican National Committee, the RNC, is pumping about $20 million into these two Senate races in Georgia, and I would expect that the Democrats and a lot of Democratic donors would be doing the same thing. So the polling average we have right now, as I mentioned, the only poll that they've really done so far is the Remington Research poll, which is not necessarily the most reliable polling firm. They are a Republican polling firm, so they do skew Republican. However, it's really all we got at this time, so David Perdue has 50%, Jon Ossoff has 46%. I think they're undervaluing Jon Ossoff. David Perdue's probably about right, maybe undervaluing him a little bit too, but so that's what we have for polling right now. My personal assessment of this race is I think the election results on election night show this race is going to be very, very close. As I mentioned, David Perdue did outperform President Trump by 1,000 plus votes or so. To give him credit, Jon Ossoff is probably one of the best Democratic candidates in Georgia they could have ran for this seat. David Perdue was the more popular incumbent, more popular senator. Everyone knew this. But Jon Ossoff has really raised a lot of money, garnered a lot of support, and is giving David Perdue a very big run for his money. Runoff elections, do typically have a lower voter turnout in a typical election year. Obviously, it's 2020, so we don't know how that'll happen now. But if that is the case, lower turnouts typically favor Republicans. But in 2020, who knows? Maybe if they do mail-in ballots again, maybe that will kind of be factored out, so we'll have to wait and see. Early polling, as I mentioned, we don't have much, but from what we've seen, it does give David Perdue a slight edge. And David Perdue, or Georgia, excuse me, does typically vote Republican. However, um, so yeah, early polling does give a very narrow edge to David Perdue at this time. However, Georgia typically votes Republican, but as we've seen, Joe Biden is projected to win Georgia at this time. So we never know. Maybe anything could happen. We'll have to watch. We'll have to wait and see. So this is my prediction for this runoff election. I have David Perdue getting 51.2% of the vote, or 2.1 million votes roughly, to John Ossoff's 48.8%, so roughly 2 million votes. This election does have lower turnout than the presidential election, and I think it's for good reason. I don't think as many people are going to show up. The presidency is typically more important. So I think both will get less votes than they did last time. However, I think Dave Perdue will win a very, very close and hard-fought race over Democrat John Ossoff, but very, very, very close. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of it and what your predictions for this race are. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it if you could do that to help me out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.